Welcome back, and today we are looking at the Sword of Omen, which has nothing to do with tech. It's something I'd love to share with you guys, so stay tuned for this episode. Alright, so as you can tell from the thumbnail and the intro, we got the Sword of Omen. I grew up to Thundercats. They came out in 1985. I was about 6 years old when this cartoon got released. It was my favorite cartoon, above He-Man, which I had every toy, above Transformers, which I had them, Voltron, I had them. This sword could do anything. Literally, it could show Lino where all the Thundercats were. It could heal them. He could fly on it. Thundercats was a loony cartoon. You had to have watched it. Thundercats didn't really make an impact like Transformers or He-Man or, cartoons of that degree. So let's talk about what the sword actually is made of. 440 stainless steel, the blade. The handle's probably something similar. It weighs somewhere between 6 and 8 pounds, so it does have some weight. It's not like perfectly balanced, as you could tell. Yeah, it is a pretty cool sword. You don't want to touch it too much because it does pick up fingerprints pretty easily. I've wiped it down a few times, but I'm gonna actually have to get something to clean stainless steel with before I put it back up on the wall. But as you can see, check out the handle. The rubies inside are red and blue, and on the hilt it has another red ruby. Also, the handle has some pretty nice little design in it. I don't know the name of this part, but as you can see, it's shaped up because this is where Lionel would put his eyes and he would say, "Give me sight beyond sight," or call the Thundercats, or whatever he needed to do at the point. So, yeah, it's a heavy sword. It's not light. It's not a toy. It's not a real, I want to say it's not a real sword. It's more of a prop sword, but you hit somebody with it, it's gonna hurt. The tip is not a sharp tip, it's a dull tip, but it still came with this rubber piece, just, for added protection, I guess. Also, the sheath. The sheath's pretty cool. It's not made of real true leather, it's pleather. It's better. It's not meant to be handled daily. It's not meant to really have the sword pulled in and out of it constantly, because you're gonna damage it. It's gonna tear. It's gonna open up if you're constantly using it for that. It's meant for the sword just to go inside. And here you guys will get a visual of how it looks inside of the sheath. So yeah, the strap that broke would have brought this up, and it would have locked right here to hold it up straight. But that piece was broken, and that leads me into the story of actually how I got the sword. Not looking for the sword, it wasn't even in my mind. I had wanted to go that day with my mom, take her out somewhere to get something to eat, just to get out of the house. Well, we went to the mall first, and we walked into a store called Dark Ages. They do not have a website from what I've seen. I tried finding it, they don't have it. They are located in the Inland Mall here in San Bernardino, off the 215 freeway, in between the 210 and the 10 freeway. Now, Dark Ages is a store that sells daggers, knives, masks. They sell all kinds of stuff, and they sell a lot of swords. This was on the wall, and I noticed it, and my mother saw me look at it, and she was like, "Yeah, he's buying that," and that's pretty much what happened. The person that was working that day had told me that this part of the sheath had that strap with a button that would lock on to the handle right here, and a previous employee had broke that. He actually gave me a lot better deal on the sword than what was on the price tag. The sword was 200 and change. I got it for about $140, and that is pretty much how I got my hands on the sword. And again, this was one of my top 3 swords. This being number 1, number 2 being the Sword of Power from He-Man, and number 3, you can argue down in the comments if this is a sword or not, Luke's lightsaber. You can argue down in the comments. It's not a sword, it's a lightsaber. It's a sword to me. It's got a hilt, and you whack people with it. Let's say you were to have somebody commissioned to make you an identical replica of this sword. Around $3,000. It's gonna be perfectly weighted. It's gonna be a true copy of the sword. This is more of a prop sword. It's still made of all metal and it looks great. Now don't get me wrong. If you were to swing this at somebody, you would cause some severe damage. It's pretty heavy. It's got weight. The tip is not sharp, it's dull, but it would go through somebody if you push hard enough. So leave the tip on and keep it safe. The handle, you know, it's metal still. This is made for, what was that word?
Cosplaying.
Yeah, it's made for cosplaying. So if you're gonna go out there dressed as Lionel or your own character from D&D that you created, perfect, excellent. People will come to look at it because it is just a beautiful sword. So you're gonna wanna get some type of polish for it if you're gonna leave it and showcase it like this. Now, over my 2020 Tech for You up here, I went and I bought some pretty cool hooks from Home Depot and I painted them chrome and I put them over the name because this is where this is gonna go. We'll show you after that. Overall quality, out of 5, I give it about a 4. Overall looks, I give it a 5, and that's just because I'm biased. I will be honest. I seen other ones and this one is really neat, and for a couple $100, you got the Sword of Omen. I mean, come on. What else is there? He-Man's sword is nice, but it's compared to this has a lot more detail to it. So, Dark Ages, the store in the mall, right off the 215 in the Inland Center Mall, does not have a website. They are a pretty cool store. The employees there that I have met are very nice. They're willing to negotiate pretty well. The manager, I hear, doesn't really like to negotiate, but if you could find something with flaws or something, maybe you could get them to drop $10, $15 on certain items. If you'd like any more information about Dark Ages, comment down below and I'll tell you what I know about them. I'd say I put a link down below for the sword and Dark Ages, but like I said, they do not have a website. I did not tell them that I'd be doing a review on this sword. I did not mention anything like that. They did not give it to me at a reasonable price because I was gonna do a review. Paid for this with my own money, as I do all the stuff that you see on this channel. So you're always gonna get my personal opinion. If you're new here, think about subscribing. Again, guys, like the video, comment down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Late.